the more cognitive area of, okay, well, that's the structure, connected with the more feeling aspects. Okay, well, how does that feel? Okay, yeah, hello and welcome to our first session on the topic of lean by nature. We're gonna wait maybe a little more to see if there's people joining, and otherwise we're just gonna start. There's a lot of interesting things we're gonna cover today, and so I'm already excited. I've been looking forward to that for a while. So yeah, we're first gonna just wait for more people. Maybe if there's someone joining, then do a short introduction of the two of us, and then go into today's topic. So but first, before we go into the whole thing, let's just think of what we can be grateful for today. So for example, I'm really grateful for fresh air, and for the blue sky outside, and now that the fall is coming, the air is somewhat, it has that somewhat fresher, maybe a little cold thing, and it tastes differently than in the summer, and I'm just so grateful for that change in the seasons. And what are you grateful for, Aman?
I'm grateful for the opportunity that we're getting in this tough time, sharing our thoughts with people. So I think that's something that I appreciate. I talked to some people who are still struggling to get back on track as far as the work is concerned. So I'm grateful that things are starting to roll on the work front where I am based out of. So that's something I'm grateful about. And life slowly getting back to normal, people slowly getting used to kind of living in this new kind of disease environment, if you will, and accepting it, and with a smile, and then going ahead with their daily routine. So that's something I appreciate, I'm grateful about.
Thank you so much. So lean by nature, why are we here, and who are we actually? So maybe, Aman, you want to go first in introducing yourself a little?
Absolutely. So I'm based out of India. My name is Aman, and by the way, it means peace. In India, the names have a meaning. So I don't know, I'm really peaceful by nature, but I try to be harmonious and peaceful. And I have been into the corporate life for many years in my life, and I've primarily been a quality champion in the organizations I've worked with. And through this journey, I've always been thinking how I can improve our own personal life using the quality management principles. There are a lot of organizations who are able to solve their problems using the quality framework. And I still see that on the personal front, we still continue to face challenges. And I think we have this participant joining in.
Okay.
So I think that's where I was thinking how we can use some of these quality framework initiatives to improve our own lives. And that's what brought me to this concept of lean, adopting the lean to our personal life. And that's what brings me here.
Thank you so much. For anybody who joined recently, we're just in the introduction phases, and we shared gratitude. So if you want to just write in the chat if you can hear us fine, and what you're grateful for today. And then I can do a short introduction of myself. My name is Elizabeth. I've been in quality assurance in software testing for quite a while, and then kind of went more into nature connection trainings and really dove into that intensively. And yeah, so now I see how much of that improving certain processes and things and thinking can be also improved by the principles and by the methods that I learned through nature connection. So that's kind of where I felt strongly to improve everybody's lives and continually improve. And that's how I kind of got into seeing maybe continuous improvement methods and principles. How can the corporate thing be connected with nature? So yeah, that's how it came to be. And nature or fate brought us together, and that's why we're here now today. Exactly. So nature, lean by nature is basically continuous improvement with nature connection. That's the short version of it. So yeah, Aman, do you want to maybe go into what does lean mean, and what different aspects of lean can we use both in our corporate lives as well as our private lives?
Absolutely. So, as I shared, initially I was introduced to the lean concept more as a quality journey, and I'm seeing, I think, thank you. You're grateful for cars and food and community, so welcome you to this call. And I hope we'll be able to kind of loop you in as you get comfortable in this call. So we're just getting started, and as I was sharing, I was introduced to this lean concept primarily through this quality framework, where there are organizations like Toyota is the first organization, and I was reading through it. It's almost 90 years back that this concept lean was initiated, and a lot of organizations are practicing a lot of concepts around lean and improving the aspects that they're struggling with. And as I said, as a quality professional, I was very happy to use some of those principles in the organizations and bring about improvements. And I was also curious how I can adopt some of those and try and improve our own personal life. So let me start with the corporate aspect of lean, and then we'll move to the personal aspect of how it resonates with me. So if I look at any corporate, there are primarily six kind of problems that the organizations face. It could be all of those six, or it could be a mixture of few or one or two. And I'll just share one by one. The first one is about productivity. And productivity essentially means efficiency of a process. How much you can produce, and with how much input you can put in. So it's basically a ratio of output by input. So I think every organization really struggles with improving their productivity. They want to reduce the input and increase the output. Mm-hmm. And I would say that the lean concepts that we're going to talk today and probably in the subsequent calls are going to help those organizations who are struggling with productivity. So that's the first kind of attraction towards getting into this whole series of calls that we are getting together. The second problem which organizations mostly face is related to quality or effectiveness, if I will say. So there's a lot of rework, lot of scrap, lot of rejections that can happen on the products that they are producing. And I'm talking about manufacturing as well as service industry. So when we talk about poor quality, organizations are struggling with that. And again, when we talk about lean concept in a manufacturing organization or in a corporate environment, the quality can definitely be improved when we deploy some of these lean principles. So for those who are working in organizations who are struggling with quality, again, these calls would be helpful, because we will be talking some tools on quality framework as well. And the third aspect which organizations struggle with, I said six. So first is productivity, second is quality, the third is cost. And cost is also kind of efficiency metric that we talked about, the first metric. It's a constant endeavor to reduce the cost, and somewhere the lean can help reduce the cost aspect as well. So that's where we can have those organizations also benefit from these calls who are struggling with cost aspect. The fourth aspect which I can relate to, most organizations struggle with, is related to delivery, or basically the timeliness of their product. There may be delays in executing the orders, and those issues are also in a way anti-lean, I would say. So if we are really a lean organization, then there will be minimum delays and it will be on-time delivery. So I would also invite the people who are from corporate background and their organizations are struggling with issues of delivery. I mean, these calls and the concepts we are going to talk are going to help them as well. Quickly covering the remaining two. So I talked about productivity, quality, cost, and delivery. The balance two are safety, which is accident-free environment, which every organization struggles with. And the last is morale, or the motivation of the employees. So I would say that mostly the organizations are struggling with these six key areas, which will cover almost 90% of the issues that they're struggling with. And somewhere this lean concept helps those organizations. So I think that's where they will draw benefit from this lean. Quickly moving on to the personal side of things now. One aspect is the corporate thing that we have been talking about till now. The other is totally non-corporate. It touches each and every person, whether they are associated with any company or not. And that's about our personal life. And I would, at this point, introduce the second aspect of lean, which is actually called lean thinking. So there are times that we as human beings are struggling with a lot of ideas on our mind. There's a lot of issues that that are on our mind, some things that happened in the past, some things that haven't happened in the future. So a lot of things pile up, and I would say that lean thinking helps to bring your mind to the present moment, and that's where I think each and every person will be able to benefit from these lean aspects that we are going to talk about. And I know I'm talking a lot of things here. So we talked about the lean process, which is related to the corporate world. We talk about the lean thinking, which is related to the individuals, whether they're in corporate or not. And the third and final aspect, which touches everyone, is the lean structure. And when I say lean structure, I mean physically fit. That's something that everybody wants to constantly work on their physical fitness. So I would say that even lean structure is important, regulating our food and exercise and everything. So we are going to talk about, life as well as quality, as I said. So we're going to balance these three aspects: the lean process, the lean thinking, and the lean structure. And that's what these calls, I think, resonate with me. And Elizabeth, I think we have this slide. Do you mind pulling that up, and we can just share that, because that really sums up what I just talked about.
Just a minute. Okay, can you see it already, the slide?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. So this is what I think is going to be the framework of our calls going forward. We are going to talk about lean processes, which are going to help the organizations improve the productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety, morale aspects that we talked about. We are also going to talk about lean thinking, how we can try and bring our mind to the present moment and minimize our worries and tensions and other aspects and bring in creativity and all those aspects, and also the lean structure. What can we do kind of physically to be more fit? So we'll dedicate some calls to all of these aspects. So Elizabeth, that's what I wanted to share, and back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good overview already. And I'm gonna stop the screen sharing now so that you can see me. Um, the it's so interesting to have that whole lean process and production ideas and the lean thinking, and it has principles and everything, and it lays out everything what we have to look at for productivity and quality and everything. And looking at nature and natural cycles, and how we can connect with nature and with ourselves better so that we're happy and fulfilled, is kind of a basis for a lot of the other things to happen. For example, looking at quality, where if we identify with the things that we're doing, um, we want to create good quality, and we want to have it effectively and productively, and there's that inner drive towards all of those things to be cost efficient and time efficient, and to be happy about it, and to not have accidents, because in nature, if you have an accident, that could be your death, basically. And and so all of those principles are already incorporated in a lot of the more nature connected people that are living like more, not so technologically, but really live simple lives, and or in community and in nature connected communities. And that's why I think it's so important to see, okay, well, the more cognitive area of, okay, well, that's the structure connected with the more feeling aspects. Okay, well, how does that feel? I mean, if we're looking at productivity and, okay, well, those are the numbers and the figures, and that's where all, like, we're losing so much time while people are having their coffee breaks or whatever, so let's just cut that up or whatever. And then we see, okay, well, that's where the communication is happening. That's where a lot of people realize they're communicating between different kind of small silos that they've been working on, to also have that unproductive part that looks like, okay, well, in nature we have the seasons, and we have winter where there's like it's everything slows down and there's not so much productivity on the outside, but there's a lot of stuff happening on the inside, to also see, have a balance there as well. Kind of shows that overall the productivity will grow if we allow those spaces of introspection, those spaces of reflection to happen again, and that will also connect to all the other dots. And this is, of course, important in the working areas, but also in private life, because if we want to live happier lives, we can see, okay, well, how does my quality of life improve if I do this more, or if I leave out those things, or if I can change something that I'm doing to have more quality time with my family. Then I don't have to have so much time with my family, if it's quality time, it might not be necessary to do so much if I'm really, for example, communicating and instead of watching a movie or something. So that's why in the personal lives it's equally important to look at all of those things to just improve our lives in a way that we're happier and more fulfilled and do the things we were most passionate and talented in, and yeah, just follow that energetic flow in a way that structure of lean also wants to help create, but flow can only happen if you're feeling it. So that's why I think it's so important to have the nature connection in that lean concept as well. And looking at nature, I don't see many overweight deer running around, for example. So nature has an environment of creating what is most healthy and most natural to us. So it's a way of looking, okay, well, how can we create an environment for us that's most healthy? That's where we don't have to actively go to exercise or to the fitness center or whatever, because that's separate and that's kind of not time or cost efficient. If you can maybe just bring some exercises into your daily routines, like have stand-up desks, or while you're talking to someone, go around and walk, or do whatever, kind of have that integrated into your daily routines, is just a way of kind of rebuilding that environment that other animals have in nature that keeps them fit and keeps them healthy. So that's kind of the idea, and looking at those different aspects of the lean thinking and lean processes in a more from the nature connection side of it. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to add anything to it, or if we can go to questions. Maybe there are questions that came up during that presentation.
Sure, I think we can. I just want to add a couple of kind of personal kind of stake at trying out lean in my real life. So as I said that, you know, these concepts were more as a quality framework, and I started to practice in terms of my lean thinking, you know, and bringing my mind more to the present moment. So that was a kind of a project for me, because there was a time I remember that there was so much on my mind that I was really struggling to know what to do with so much information, you know. And then, you know, I started meditation, and I know Ja also mentioned something about gratitude, about meditation. So I think she's also into meditation. So that's great. So that is one way I figured out how I was able to bring my mind to the present moment and enjoy the present moment more, without worrying if you know, if my mind will be able to help me at the right time. You know, I was always worried. I have so much information, so much you know, things that I have been learning. Will I be able to practice them? If I need some information, will that be available at that time? So I was lost in these thoughts at some point, and slowly I came out of that, and that's how this applying the lean thinking helped me. And one personal kind of win, I would say, on the lean structure bit, I would like to definitely share at this point. Couple of years back, I was kind of laid back on exercising. I could do some things here and there, but I started like couple of years back, I started consciously working on my physical fitness, applying the lean concept to lean structure. And I started running. And initially I started running 2 kilometers at a time. Then I increased it to 4, and it went on to 6, And I think 2 years back, 2018, in the month of February, I ran. There's a local marathon that happens. Obviously, marathon is like 40 kilometers, but I participated in the 10.5-kilometer run
Mm.
for the first time, and I was able to complete that in 75 minutes, so 1 hour 15 minutes. So today I am able to run 10 kilometers and bicycle 20 kilometers almost every day. I do alternate like this. So I'm very happy to share a couple of these things because I've personally tried to adopt these principles into my thinking and my structure, and somewhere it has helped me. And I feel it's an ongoing journey. One can never say that we're all we are there and we are perfect, but it has to be a constant endeavor. And I think I'm very happy that we have this space now where we can talk about these and share our experiences around lean and practicing it in our personal life.
Yeah,
So
thank you so
thank you.
much for sharing that. And I mean, also the being present, I mean, that's kind of every animal is present all the time. And when we're living in nature, like I was living directly in nature for 2 months last year, um, very primitively without any technology and everything. And that kind of, you have to be present in the moment because otherwise accidents happen, or you just don't notice certain things and there's risks involved that can cost you your life. And so yeah, we're present outside, we're present all the time, or we need to be. And just because we are in that houses, in those boxes, we just kind of shut off all of our senses. um, but yeah, it's important to bring those senses back, and then we get so much more important information that can help us make more informed decisions as well on our surroundings.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, there have not been any questions. Is there anything else that you want to kind of give some outlook into our next few calls? Because we're gonna probably talk about the different, like more specific, the principles of lean, and go into each principle a little more in detail and see how we can apply that to our personal lives as well. Is there anything that you already want to share on what's to come?
Yes, absolutely. Everything, as I said, I'm personally convinced that we can adopt in our personal life as well. And in the quality framework, there's a classic saying that whatever starts getting monitored and measured starts getting improved.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever starts getting monitored and measured starts getting improved. So I would like to kind of just invite all those on the call just to start tracking whatever area in their personal life they want to improve. Just start tracking that, be it your weight or be it your food intake. If you just start tracking that every day, uh, you'll see that that how that tracking itself will help you to start getting a momentum to improve that. So we use that in quality framework as well. When we The first thing that we do when we start improving a process, we analyze the current situation. Where are we
Mm-hmm.
right now? Right? If you want to solve any problem, let's say you want to talk about productivity or quality, so we say, where are you right now? How are you measuring quality right now? What is your productivity right now? What is the formula you're doing? How are you tracking that? So the
Mm-hmm.
tracking and monitoring is the first aspect that is required for a sustained improvement. So, I don't want to make it very quality heavy, but the only thing I want to share is that I personally monitor my weight every day on the calendar. Uh, and this gives a trend. And by the way, when I track it on the calendar, it's like a quality tool called checklist. So there is a yeah. So there you must have heard of these 7 classic quality control tools. One of them is a checklist. So when you put something on the calendar every day, record how much milk did we buy, or what was our weight, or anything that you track. It's a classic form of monitoring the data. And then you will see, when you look at the trend, you can make out how it's going up and down, and what's the range and everything. So we can start enjoying the whole process much more once we have some data. So I think that's just a quick kind of point about probably the next call that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about those basics which we can apply in the corporate life as well as in our professional life, and that's how we'll continue the journey.
Yeah, that already makes me excited because I started to track some aspects of what I was doing, and I'm probably going to share that in more detail next time. But yeah, it already helped me a lot to see, okay, well, that's where I am, so that's where I can start looking. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Is that something that I can improve? Because otherwise, if we don't have any specific data, even if it's something that's not measurable, we can still put it on a scale of 1 to 10 and see, is that improving somehow? So yeah, I think that's a really good input to have as a starting point, because you have to collect the data first to actually be able to analyze, to see where you're at, and that takes time.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And yeah, since we also want our calls to be lean and productive, and not drag it out any further than not necessary, we're going to do it in smaller chunks and not have 2-hour meetings or something. So yeah, thank you so much for first call, and I'm excited for all the calls to come, and also more people joining as we go and explore that new topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Elizabeth, and thanks for making this happen and conceptualizing this whole thing on lean by nature. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, if you're watching the recording as well, just leave comments, or send us your ideas or questions or whatever you want to have covered. Also, to the email address connect@leanbynature.org. I'm going to put that also in the comments. So yeah, just let us know what you thought and what you want, what other topics or questions you would be interested in that we can cover. Yeah, so thank you so much, and until next time.